Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In the last two videos, we were discussing about table relationships in Dataverse, what are the different relationship types available, and what are the different relationship behaviors, and how to configure those relationship behaviors within each relationship. In this video, we will see how to use the field mappings feature within our relationship. This will be useful whenever you create a child record from your parent record. Some of the field values or the column values from the parent table or source table can be mapped to the child table or the target table. So this configuration can be done within the field mappings within our relationship. So now I am in my parent record form, and from here, if I try to create a new child record, we can map the fields. So currently, if you see, I have a date of birth and comments column added to my parent. And now if I try to create my child record from my parent record form, these two values are not mapping. So from the parent, maybe I will just update some value here. I will give some value over here in my parent record, and I'm trying to create my child. And again, in my child record, I need to enter these two values manually. But sometimes we might need to map the parent column field values to our child column values. Okay, so at that time, this field mapping will be useful. Now we will see how to set it up. So far, we were using our maker portal. So within our maker portal only, we created our relationship, and then we have configured our relationship behavior, everything from this maker portal. But this field mapping functionality is something available in your classic mode only. So you need to switch to your classic mode to enable or to configure the field mappings. And before that, we need to remember one thing. So here we have date of birth column, which is a date type column, and I have this comments column. This is a text type column. So whenever we try to map the source table column with the child or the column, target table column, we need to ensure that both the column types are similar. You cannot map the date column with your text column in your child table. Instead, both should be of same type. Only then the field value will be mapped to your target table record. Okay. Now I will switch to classic. Yeah, my solution is now opened in the classic view. And if you had already watched my previous video where I have already created the relationship between parent table and child table. I have my parent table and child table, and from my parent table I have already created 1 to n relationship with my child table. So this is already existing. Now I am going to add the field mapping within this relationship only. And one more point that you need to remember is the field mapping functionality is applicable only for 1 to n relationship. Now I will open this relationship. From here, if you click on this mappings, you will be able to see all the field mappings. By default, the lookup field mapping is already existing. Now I will create the mappings for date of birth column and the comments column. In the left side, you need to choose the source column, source in the sense parent table column. And then the right side, we need to choose the target column, which means the child table column. So in source table, I will choose date of birth. and in target also I will choose date of birth, which means date of birth value from the parent table will be mapped to the date of birth column in the child table, and the values will be transferred from parent table to child table. Now I will save this. In the same way, I will create one more field mapping for my comments column. So in source also I will select comments. In target also I will select comments. Now we can save and close this relationship. So what we have done is, as part of previous videos, we have created a relationship, and while creating the relationship and setting up the behavior types, we used the makeup portal. But for this field mapping alone, this is not available inside our makeup portal. So we need to switch to classic view. And from here, I opened the already created relationship. And within that relationship, I have added two field mappings from the source table to target table. Now I will just select this table and publish it. Changes are now published. Now I am within the model driven app, and I have already opened the parent record that I have already created, and I refresh this page. Now from this form, I will try to create a child record. Last time when I created the child record from this form, the two columns were not populating. Date of birth and comments column were not populating. But now if I create a child record, it will populate my parent lookup column, it will populate my date of birth column, and it will populate my comments column. Yes, now you can see the moment I try to create this child record from my parent record form, automatically date of birth and comments are populated. Now I just need to enter a name for my child record, and we can save and close. In the same way, if I try to create another record, the same behavior will occur. I hope now you understood the concept of field mappings within table relationships. Thank you for watching.